Hey guys, welcome back. Today in this video, we will learn how to use substring in CSS Selector. It allows matching a partial string to locate a particular web element. There are three mechanisms in which matching of a string can be done using a CSS selector. And they are match a prefix, match a suffix, match a substring. We will look at each mechanism in detail with an example on a web page. So let's discuss what is match a prefix. Match a prefix allow us to access a particular string using a matching prefix. And this is the syntax for this one. It starts with the tag name, square bracket, attribute, and this symbol. This symbol is called caret symbol. This caret symbol is used to match a string using prefix. So as soon as you enter this symbol after the attribute, the system will understand that it has to match a prefix, and this is the prefix of the string. And what is the prefix? Prefix is the starting of the string on which match operation is being performed. So let's see how to do this on a web page. I have opened a Salesforce application and I will inspect this first name. I have inspect this first name. Let me maximize it. So we would use prefix, matching a attribute value with the help of prefix. So what was the syntax? The syntax was, I'll show you again what was the syntax. Syntax was tag name, square bracket, attribute, and this caret symbol. So the tag name is input here. I will press Control F and then I will type input and I will write square bracket opening and closing. Why we mention opening and closing at the same time? So that we should not miss anything. If you are writing anything between any of kind of a bracket, you should start it and close it immediately. Same thing with the quote sign. If you are writing a starting quote, you should write the ending quote and then you should write your string inside that. That's a good practice. So I will use name attribute, and the name attribute, the value is user first name. I will write name and caret sign. This caret symbol equals to starting of a string, prefix of a string, right? Prefix is user first name. It was user. As soon as I type user, it is showing me one of four. So what are these four elements? We have first name, last name, email, and phone. You can see it here. All these element is having all these elements names is starting with the user. User phone, user first name, user last name, user email. That's why we are seeing four of four. So I will type first as well so that I can get a unique element. So you can see it here. I'm able to locate my element. So what happens sometimes, the starting string of your element is constant, but other parties keep changing. Let's take an example of this ID. You can see it here, this user first name hyphen cv5v. This cv5v will change every time, and that's why we cannot use ID in the attribute. Let me refresh this page and let me inspect this element again. So you can see it here, this value, the last value got changed now. So every time you will come to this application, every time you will hit this URL, this ID will change. This ID is a dynamic element. So the only starting value is user first name. User first name. If I change it to rather than name as ID, it will locate this element. So let's use this in our code. I will copy the URL. I have already created a CSS Selector class and created a driver instance. Driver.get URL. I will launch the URL. Driver.manage.windows.maximize. I will maximize this screen, and then I will locate the element with the help of CSS Selector. Driver.find element is a method which we use. by.css selector and our selector. What we will do, we will enter some value in the first name field. We are making use of ID, and ID is our dynamic element. So I'm repeating this again. ID is our dynamic element where this last part will keep changing every time. That's why we are making use of prefix of a string. It means the starting value will remain same every time. Only this portion will change, so we will use the prefix. I will type my channel name, and let's execute this code. You can see it here. It has launched the driver. It has opened the URL, and it has maximized the browser, and it has entered a value automation rail in first name. So we are able to locate a web element with the help of prefix. So let's discuss what is match a suffix now. Match a suffix allow us to access a particular string using a matching suffix. And what is a suffix? Suffix is ending of the string on which match operation is performed. So in match a prefix, we were using starting of a string, and in match a suffix, in suffix is ending of a string. So we have to mention ending value of a string. And this is the syntax for this: tag name and a square bracket attribute and dollar sign. So dollar sign is being used for the suffix, and then the value of the string with the suffix. So let's do this on a web page. I will use the same web page. I will close this one. I will use the same application, salesforce.com, and we'll try to use the same element. So here we can see it, ID is dynamic, so we cannot use the suffix for the dynamic because this last value will keep changing every time, but we can make use of name. So I will change it to name attribute. I will type name equals, and then I have to mention dollar sign because we are looking for a prefix. First name. As soon as I mention name and dollar, it will look for an element with the name attribute ending with first name. And if I change this to name, you can see it is showing one of four. So there are multiple element which are ending with the name. To find out our unique element, so what we have to do, we have to mention something else also here. So it was first name. Then we are able to locate our element. And if I mention, if I, for example, if I mention user first, user first, then it will not locate this one because it is not able to locate any element which is having name attribute and which is ending with user first. But if I type as complete name, complete value, then it will locate, because this condition is true, it is ending with this, although it's a complete value, right? So we'll use first name and then we will use this in our code. Let's change the expression. Previously we were making use of id and this caret symbol, and we were using prefix here. Now we will use suffix. Let's execute this code. You can see it here, it has entered a value in this first name. And to enter a value, we used substring with the suffix. The next one is matching a substring. It allows us to access a particular string using a matching substring. Substring could be starting of your string, it could be ending of your string, and it could be anywhere in your string. This is the syntax: tag and square bracket attribute and star sign equals substring, whatever string you are looking for inside your whole string. Let's see this also on a web page. So if we take the same example, we have a name attribute with the value as user first name. Let me use the whole value here, user first name. So we are able to locate an element with the help of star or with the help of substring when the value is whole value. Now let me remove some portion of this. I have removed some portion. Now I'm just using starting of the string. Then also it is showing me 104. It is able to locate this element, but there are another element also which are having this value user. Let's see. This is the last name. In the last name also we have user last name. That's why it's locating this element. Then user email we have here. And then user phone we have here. Let me change it to phone. P is capital. We have to make sure we are using proper case. Otherwise, it will not locate your element if you are not entering your string in a proper case, whatever it is there on your web page. So you can see it here. I'm able to locate it with the help of only phone. Let me try to locate some other element. And if I type last here, then also it will locate my element last. So let's use this in our code. So I will replace the previous expression and I will enter a value in the last name this time. We are making use of star symbol. Let's execute this code. You can see it here, it has launched the browser and it has opened the URL. It has maximized the browser and it has entered a value in last name. For this last name, we made use of substring. So that's all for this video, guys. Please do practice on CSS selectors. We will meet in next video. Till then, happy learning.